Well, hi everyone. I'm really glad to be here. I've actually been part of the team on the back end, kind of helping get the site up and going. And so that's been fun to see it from the back end and then to also be seeing it on the front end. And what I wanted to talk about today, so just a quick overview. I'm going to be talking the platform that I've created called the Journey Inward. And what that is it's basically a website that it's like Facebook, but without the distraction. So it's Facebook, and where you can create personal groups around whatever personal growth that you're wanting to work on, whatever service project you're a part of, whatever you're wanting to start in the world and get people excited and connected and motivated around. You can use the Journey Inward as a platform to do that. Of course, there's a whole bunch of different tools out there and sites out there that will help people do the same. You know, anyone can create a meetup group, anyone can create a Facebook group. But I wanted to go into the entire purpose behind the Journey Inward and my philosophy around creating lasting change. And I feel it's something that's really missing in the industry right now. And the industry I'm talking about is the personal growth industry. So I wanted to go into my own personal story about how I got to this point, and then I wanted to kind of walk you all through the website and some of the different tools. And if we have time, maybe do a little practice and actually take some of the stuff that all of us have gotten out of this World Unity Week and see if we can utilize some of those tools to help us grow and help us figure out what we want to do in our own lives based on the experiences that we've had over this last week. So it's just sort of a demonstration of the tool, but it's basically, it's a free website that anyone can go and create a group at. And you can go check it out right now if you want, but I'm going to be demoing it. So it's just thejourneyinward.com. But before I get into all that, I wanted to jump into my own personal story. So I've been going to uh, tons of events and programs and seminars and retreats and things like that since I was a teenager. I've had these amazing experiences. I've met these amazing people. I've had these huge revelations in my life, and decided to make giant changes because of it. And then the experience that I had over and over again is I would go back home, I would lose touch with the people I met at the event, I would start falling back into old habits and old patterns, and I would eventually end up right back where I started. And eventually, this became my spiritual practice, was going to events and seminars and retreats. And then I would do that every 6 months or so, and have these great experiences. And then I would just know when I go back home, it's like, okay, now it's time to go back to the real world. And in another 6 months, I'll get refreshed and rejuvenated, and I can try to make a few new changes in my life. But between now and then, it's just back to the normal world. Eventually I started feeling like maybe there was something wrong with me. Like I just wasn't motivated enough. I just couldn't, I just didn't have that drive that other people do to make changes. And I started to feel like maybe I was broken in some way. And that's just how it was. It was like, okay, well, I do events, and maybe that'll help me change, and maybe it won't, but whatever. Until I finally had an experience that completely changed how I saw events and began to see what was missing. And it started actually in high school. I attended an event that they had what I call a reintegration process. So during the event, it was a team retreat for a bunch of people in a high school. So it was sort of like to help kids connect with other kids in different cliques. So high school wasn't so difficult for most people. And so we had this weekend retreat with a bunch of people from different, there were the jocks, there were the band kids, there were the stoners, there was like all the different cliques of kids attending this weekend retreat. And everyone thought it was stupid at first, but we went through this amazing experience where we all got to see what life was like from each other's point of view. And it completely changed my high school experience and a lot of the rest of ours. But the thing that stuck out for me was this thing that I'd never seen done in another event or retreat. At the end of the event, they took about an hour and they walked people through a reintegration process where everyone sort of looked ahead to what it would be like going back home. What would those conversations be like? How do you talk to people about the experiences you had? How do you deal with difficult conversations? What about the people back home that don't want you to do things differently, that want you to stay the same? How do you talk to them about the changes that you're wanting to make in your life? You know, how are you going to greet these people that you went to this event with when you go back to school? Are you going to like uh, you know, ignore them when you walk by them in the hall? Or are you gonna say hi? Are you gonna break those click rules and actually connect with each other? So it's this whole process where we look back on the event and what we got out of it and decided to make intentions about how we wanted to integrate that stuff into our lives moving forward. It's the only time I've ever seen that done in an event, and stuck with me. I didn't know what it was at the time about it, but I just really liked that process. More recently, I went to a weekend men's group that was an incredibly intense experience, but it sort of gave me another piece of the puzzle. And I didn't realize I was putting together a puzzle at the time. But what they did was we had this amazing weekend experience where we all really got to connect with each other as men. And it was insane to me that that was not an experience I'd had before, and incredibly needed once I had had it. I was like, why doesn't everybody do this? This is so incredible. But what they did afterwards is they put everyone in these weekly groups where you would continue to support each other after the event in terms of making changes in your life and trying to, you know, whatever it is that you're working on, that you're wanting to move forward in. This group of men would help each other, you know, work on that stuff every week. And so we would drill down on different things every week and connect with each other and support each other in whatever changes we're wanting to make in our lives. And it was such an amazing experience, and something that I've seen only a few times in events that I've been to. And the last thing is I went to something called Landmark Forum, and I had this other amazing experience. And then afterwards, I jumped into a 10-week program where we essentially, you take a project and you work it through to completion. So it's basically taking what's in your head in you know, up in the clouds, in ethereal, and bringing it into the real world and creating goals and milestones and steps and setting up accountability partnerships and checking in with each other every week to see how you're doing and supporting other people as they try to complete things in their lives. And it really taught me about integrity and about the whole concept of, it's not about how you feel or what you want, or what's holding you back. It's about what you do. Like, your actions define the results that you get in your life. And it was another amazing experience where I really got to drill down and say, well, this is one of those things that keeps me from accomplishing goals, is having that system to help me build them into something and integrate them into my life, and having accountability and support. And so after I had been to these events, I started realizing that this is exactly what was missing in my life. I've I have made more changes in my life because of being a part of that group, and because of that the landmark system that I was a part of, and because of reintegration processes than anything I've ever tried to do on my own, or anything I've done in any other event or webinar or seminar, because it had the missing ingredients to making lasting change. So I started really looking at this and saying, well, why was this so difficult for me beforehand? And what I came to realize is that it was because there were things that were missing. I didn't have support in some places. I didn't have connection in others. I didn't have accountability or motivation or inspiration. And I started putting these together and realizing that this is what's missing in the industry. The entire support group industry has got this huge hole of what happens after the event. For a lot of people, the whole point is to get people to their event. So, you know, you work people through a sales funnel or a marketing funnel, and at the end of that, you're getting people to this big event that you're trying to do. And then once you're done with that, you connect with them over mailing lists, and you sell them products and other things like that. And I just realized that it's such an inadequate system. The people that are doing this the best are, of course, the ones that are the most, like the Tony Robbinses, because they connect people with a coach at the end of their event, or the landmark forums, or the Mankind Project, because they've got these systems in place that support people around the message from the event after the event is over, and help them actually integrate that content into their daily lives. So to me, it is sort of like, is this revelation. It's like, if I'm trying to learn a language, there's a bunch of different ways I can go about doing it. I've done this before. I went to Turkey, which was an amazing experience for me. And beforehand, I grabbed these CDs that taught me Turkish. And so I spent 3 months learning Turkish. It was great because I felt really good. I learned a few different things. But when I got over there, I was so afraid to talk to anybody because I just felt like I'm going to make a mistake in saying any of this stuff. So I never even got to practice it. And I haven't been to Turkey since. So I don't get to use this in my day-to-day language. But if you're trying to learn a language, the best way to learn it is through immersion in the culture. Just go live there and you will pick up a language faster than anything else. So it's immersion is the key. And that's what the reintegration process that I learned taught me. That's what the men's group that I was a part of taught me. And that's what the 10-week program around creating and realizing and achieving your goals taught me. Is it's immersion, it's community, it's connection, it's staying with like-minded individuals who are also supporting you in what you're trying to do. It's accountability, it's staying inspired around what it is that you're wanting to work on. And I realized I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me that's keeping me from doing these things. I just wasn't utilizing the right tools to actually create change in my life. So my background is graphic and web design. I've been doing that in the personal growth industry since probably I was 17, something like that. And I've worked with a lot of big name people. I've helped them create membership programs, book launches, all kinds of different things. And so what I realized is the piece that's missing is a simple and easy way for anyone to create support around their message after the event is over, and to do it long distance, because people come to events from all over the world. So when I first came up with this idea, Zoom wasn't super popular. It was just sort of getting off the ground. And I decided that I wanted to take all the different tools that I had seen in all these different places and put them into one platform that I knew that I could build, because that's my background. So that is what the Journey Inward came out of. And before I show you the website and how it works, I just kind of want to go over the 3 different tools and why they're important. So I had a PowerPoint presentation, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to display this properly. Let me see if I can get this working. Oh, shoot, I've got 2 of them. Okay, well, I think that's the right one. All right, I don't know how well this is going to display on your screens, but there's basically 3 different tools that I think are the most important to creating lasting change in your life. First one is inspiration, and I'll just show them to you really quickly. Inspiration, motivation, and connection. Those are the 3 tools that I think are the most important. So inspiration is what I was talking about, that reintegration process. If you have an event or a program, or you just have an idea of something that you want to connect with other people around, the best way to anchor the support process into that idea is by utilizing tools like this to help integrate it with the actual event. So what I call it is anchoring in their transformational event experience into their journey home. And there's 2 or 3 tools, and these are the main ones that I tend to use. Self-reflection is a reflection exercise where you look at what happened during the event or during the program. how do you want to integrate that into your life? Reintegration is the journey home. It's sort of an imagination process where you actually walk people through what obstacles might come up, what conversations do you want to have with people. And then the last piece is intention setting. And this is setting your intention around how you want to make changes moving forward in your life. How did this event change you? And what intentions do you now have in moving forward after the event is done? Second piece is motivation. And to me, this is the bridge between the event or the program or the course or the idea and the actual support system. Motivation is the goal planning system. It's allowing people to utilize these different tools to actually accomplish their goals around that content, around that message. The first piece is journaling. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Journaling is, writing about the event experience. What realizations or intentions do you have? The second piece is the goal planner. So creating SMART goals, creating milestones, steps, and support. And then the third piece is completions. So it's the entire process. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna, hi Fernando, nice to see you. I'm just gonna mute you, I hope you don't mind. The third piece is complete. I'm gonna mute one other person, sorry guys. The creating incentives for people around completing their goals, gamification. So these are all kind of site tools that I tend to have built into Journey Inward, but it's not necessary. It's just one of the tools that helps people. The last piece, to me, and the most important piece, is connection. It's building a support system that helps people create change through inspired action and ongoing support. So this includes accountability, partners, or groups. This includes a support community like the Journey Inward, or like a Facebook group or a members area. And then ongoing connections. Because what I've noticed from personal experience is accountability comes from showing up every week or every month to an actual group Zoom call or a group meeting of some kind where you're reflecting back to everyone else on how you're doing on whatever it is that you're working on. You're supporting each other around your goals. And that's the whole point of the support group, is that anybody can put together an in-person group, but trying to do this online can be really difficult. So, I've created a system and a template to allow people to work through their goals and actually accomplish them using a support system like the Journey Inward. Those are the main three elements that I think are the most important for creating support. So now I want to jump into the actual website and show you what it is. And if any of you have any questions while we're going along here, please feel free to just either raise your hand or say something, whatever works. I'm fine with taking a moment and answering questions. And yeah, so let me pull up the Journey Inward website and share that with you. Give me a second here. There we go. Okay. The Journey Inward is what I created as an answer to this question. And the entire concept behind the Journey Inward is, what if there was a place where you could connect with others around what you're inspired by in your life? So let's say you're wanting to work on your health, which is a big one for me. I'm trying to get more exercise, especially these days. I tend to be more community oriented when it comes to exercise. Like, I need to be playing a sport or something like that. I get really bored just going on walks or going to the gym. I need to be talking to someone or interacting with someone in some interesting way. And I'll tell you, being stuck at home, that makes that very difficult. But what if I could go to a place like the Journey Inward and be a part of a group where other people are going through the same thing, and we're actually supporting each other around our goals around health and fitness. Maybe one of us is a fitness instructor, and maybe they decide to do some group classes for the rest of the group or something like that. So utilizing the tools built into the Journey Inward, which I'm going to kind of walk you through, we can kind of support anyone around whatever they're working on. So this is the first page, just kind of walks you through what the whole site is, what the different features are. And I'll kind of go into the different features and give you guys some examples of how to use this site. So this is what people see when they first join the site. The most important part to me is the inspiration section. So I built this in such a way where anyone can post inspiration around whatever they're inspired by. So there's people on here that are posting quotes and videos and all kinds of different resources and tools, and it's just to get people inspired around what they're interested in. And this whole site is built around helping people get inspired and inspire others. So you can go here and you can check out other people's inspiration. You can go to anybody's profile and see a little bit more about who they are and maybe see some other inspiration that they've posted. You can find out who they are as a person, what they're interested in, maybe what groups they've created or what groups they've joined. Everybody gets their own profile, just like Facebook. But this is a personal growth site. So it's like Facebook, but dedicated to personal growth and without all the distracting cat videos and things like that. So that's the inspiration section. Motivation section is, and you can see the three elements that I was talking about before: inspiration, motivation, and connection. So motivation is motivating books, products, things that that are going to support people moving forward with their own goals. So one thing that I've noticed is that over time, even if you're in a group where you're connected with a bunch of people, you start to lose motivation around what you're excited about, which is why going to events was so beneficial to me moving forward. You know, as I was after, you know, every like 6 months or every year, going to events would kind of refresh my motivation around changes that I wanted to make in my life or around things that I wanted to be moving towards. And over time, that dissipates. Even if you're in a support group, it dissipates. So finding ways to stay inspired, to stay motivated. Maybe it's an upcoming event that you want to go to. And the way this is built, you can also create your own list of motivation that you're working towards. It's like a goals list, or it's like a wish list that you might get on Amazon, right? But this is about your own personal growth. So you can create your own list of any types of events or programs or products that you want to get that will help refresh your own motivation around what you're working on. So inspiration is the inspiring content section, quotes, etc. This stuff shows up in the different groups. And then motivation is products, events, your own wish list of motivation, just to keep you motivated. And then there's some other stuff that I'll jump into. And then the last piece is the connection. And this is where the groups come in. And so what I've done is I've created the Journey Inward where anyone can create a group for free. Anyone can join the Journey Inward for free and create their own group for free. And you can see all the groups are in the group section, but then you can also create front-facing group listings. So these are all our groups that are on the site right now. You can see there's let's see, Bill Kauth has created a group. We've got a group by, you know, Journey Inward. I created one for the World Unity Week, which I want to talk about. But then you can create, so there's also a group listings area. So anyone can create a group in the Journey Inward, and you can create a group listing, which is sort of like Yelp for groups. So the group listing feature is you create your group, and then you can advertise your group on the Journey Inward, and it's just sort of its own separate page that's dedicated to that particular group. You can use it in your marketing. If you're wanting to use this group in a membership program or whatever else you're wanting to do, you know, for yourself, you create a group and you use Yelp to showcase it. Not Yelp. You use this group listing feature to showcase it. And yeah, like I said, it basically works just like a a Yelp review. So people can review them. You can see a list of features. You can join the group by clicking on the button, or you can set it up so that it's a closed or hidden group so that people have to ask you to join, and then you add them to it. Just like a Facebook group, but built in the journey inward instead. Um, so some of the really cool features, so let me log in so I can show you some of the really cool features. And like I said, the reason that I created the journey inward is because I really want people to have a space where they can connect with others around what they're excited about, around what they're wanting to create in their lives. And that's the entire point of this website. So this is the members area. So there's a few different things that you'll want to check out when you first log in, when you first join. Connection area, and it's laid out the exact same as this. You've got connection, motivation, and inspiration. And there's a whole bunch of tools built into the groups that allow you to do a bunch of really cool stuff. And this whole site is built around those tools. So the integration section, there's a support forum where you can get answers to frequently asked questions. Every group can have its own forum. So you can do an FAQ section where people can post topics that they want support from other members. You can post any kind of content in that forum. You can create forum posts on the site itself. And then that content shows up on these different pages. So on the left here, you can see these are some new group listings that have been posted. On the right, you can see kind of active groups, active members, some recent topics that have been posted in the forum, and then your profile information shows up here so you can get to it really easily. And then this middle section is, it's just like Facebook in that it's like a little activity post. And you can post any type of content, photos, slideshows, quotes. You can upload files, show videos, link to things, and that content just displays for anyone else to see, just like a Facebook wall, but it's on the journey inward. And you can also search for members. So in people's profiles, you can say what you're interested in working on or what you provide support around. And then you can find other people that are interested in the same stuff. So I might search for people that have posted like working on themselves as something that they're interested in, or see health. That's not spelled right, so that's not going to work. How about that? Okay, so I posted that I'm interested in working on my health, and so is Natalie. So I can go connect with Natalie and see what groups she's a part of that talk about health, or maybe groups that she's created, and I can join her, or I can ask to join, or I can friend her and say, hi, how's it going? I'm also interested in health. Maybe we can create a group together. So that's sort of the tools of the profiles. The profiles are really, really detailed and in-depth. There's a lot of stuff you can do inside these profiles. You can see people's activity that they have decided to make public instead of private, because you can do private activity that only you or your friends can see. You can see their inspiring posts that they've added to the site, forum topics that they may have added, insights, which is basically comments, but for quotes and inspiration and things like that. You can see their list of friends, groups that they're a part of, or group listings that they've created, all that kind of stuff. So it's built around connecting with people. So Natalie is interested in abundance, self, relationships, education. She's filled out all of them, I think. She's interested in all that stuff. So I would love to talk to Natalie about any of these, because maybe we can create a group together around it. Maybe we can support each other in our common goals around health or around service or whatever. And I'll get into how the site supports you in actually setting up and running these groups, because there's a whole bunch of tutorials and training that teaches people how to create and run groups on the journey inward that makes it simple and easy. So let's say you want to quit smoking and you want a support group to do that. So you can create a group on the journey inward. You can find and invite other people, either friends that you know if you have their email address, or people on the site might be interested in quitting smoking. They can join your group, and then there's a bunch of training and tutorials that walks people through actually, creating and accomplishing goals around doing that, and doing group calls, and what the format looks like for those calls, and all that kind of stuff. This is just a fun one. There's a little live chat feature in here. Any of your friends will show up in the live chat, and you can actually do a video call with them, just built into the site, which I love that feature. That's just a bit of an aside because it just popped up right there. So that's profiles. So people will continue to add content to their profiles. You can see your own profile in the top menu area. I'll show you what mine looks like. So you can just kind of see my content. So I'm part of like 5 different groups. I posted a whole bunch of stuff. Here's my most recent post. You can see my content. You can even see, so I built in gamification where people actually get points as they participate in the site, as they accomplish goals, as they attend group calls, all that kind of stuff. You start getting points, and those points are redeemable in the store. So if you have a group or product that you've added to the store that you want to be available to others, you can just post that, use the points to do that. So this was the most recent post that I added, inspiration. Anyone can add their own insights or comments to it, share it with others, etc. Yeah, and you can also see all the groups that I'm a part of. So, I'll shoot. Okay, so that's groups, or no, I'm sorry, that's profiles. Let me go over to groups. So, okay, so the Journey Inward is a good example. Journey Inward is just a public group that everyone joins by default. And it's just sort of a common meeting area for everyone that's part of the site to connect with each other. So there's a bunch of really cool tools. When you create a group, you can connect the inspiration section to that group and have it display inspiring posts that show up in the inspiration section. Maybe I didn't set that up properly, but basically this is where new inspiration in any category that you want will show up in the group. I'm going to jump over here because this is a feature that I think is awesome. So I've integrated Zoom rooms into the groups. So if you're part of a group, you can join the Zoom room right inside the group that you're a part of. So you might just type in your name, and then you'll be able to join right here, and it'll be in this window. And then as a group owner, you can add whatever content you want below that group so that people have access to goal planning tools or upcoming events or their motivational wish list, whatever it is that they're wanting to work on. They can do it all in the same window inside the group that they're a part of. So people would just go here to join their weekly group meetings or monthly meetings or whatever, or connect with anyone else. So this works with anybody's Zoom ID number, whether it's a free Zoom account or a paid Zoom account. You can plug this in, and it also has password protection, which, the Zoom bombing we were getting earlier, that would definitely help with that kind of thing. Just having password protected Zoom rooms that only you and your group members can join, and just built into the page. You can also add a forum, like I was saying earlier. You create a forum and connect it to your group, and then post whatever content you want in here that other people can reply to, or they can post topics that you can reply to. So you can kind of create a support forum repository of content that is answers to member questions that anyone can kind of browse and search and find what they're looking for. So it's just a really easy way to create support for your members and make sure everyone's getting their questions answered, and make sure that you or whoever is able to connect with people as they have stuff coming up. You can add files. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Any kind of file you can add to the group. Then my favorite part is the goal planning system. The way that it works is you create a goal, you assign a date for it. So you create SMART goals for yourself for whatever it is that you're wanting to work on. You add a description, you can add steps or milestones, you can set reminders, whatever. As soon as you create that goal, it goes into a system that sends you a reminder email when that goal is coming up. So you'll kind of receive an email when it's coming up. When you check it off, you can then share it with other people in your group. You can create goals for the group, or you can create goals for you yourself. And the site will walk you through actually achieving those goals. So that's the goal planner that's built into the site. It's sort of a step-by-step process that walks you through journaling, creating the actual goal, uh, breaking it down into milestones, finding an accountability or support partner to help you work on it, creating daily steps that you can kind of keep getting closer to that goal, doing check-ins with your support group or with whatever group you're a part of, and then actually achieving that goal and celebrating that afterwards. And the whole site is built to actually reward you as you work on your goals. So what you see here is the growth rewards, the growth center. So you're getting points as you're doing different things, as you're participating in the forum, as you're liking or adding insights to different inspirational posts, as you're creating and checking off goals, participating in group calls, all that kind of stuff. You get points and you get rewards and badges, and those points you can redeem in the store. So this store, so let me show you what that looks like. So I'm really proud of that one. But it's basically the whole site is built around rewarding people for working on their own personal growth. So you can get all the, there's all the levels that kind of show you how you're doing. Some people are kind of motivated by, they like getting points. They like accomplishing something. They like that gamification element of working on their own stuff. So this site is built to accommodate that. But then you can also use those points and purchase growth rewards, which are redeemable in the store. So instead of buying this with money, you would buy it with the points that you've achieved. And it still saves your points, so you're not going to lose your point number or whatever, but you get to utilize those points towards your goals. So uh, as people create groups and as people add their content to the site, they can also add products to the store that can be purchased with point rewards. And that might be downloadable PDFs, audio CDs, whatever it is that you're wanting to support people around your content. Let's say you have a membership program and you want to create a group around it. You can add your products to the store. We're going to keep adding ones in different categories as we go along so that people can browse the store, which is the motivation section, and see things that they might be interested in that might help them move forward with what they're working on, or might be a good reward for what they're working towards, and actually be able to purchase those with the points that they get as they continue to work on their own content or their own, what they're inspired by, what they've created a group around, etc. So that's the growth reward section. I'm getting a couple of chat posts. Let's see. Zapier. Oh, okay, interesting. Lester, I just noticed your chats. Yeah, if you want to unmute, you can. But let's see. How do you control the interaction, deal with activities like Zoom Bomb? Yeah, so I answered that. That's got the passwords built in, which is great. And then Zapier integration, I haven't figured out what to do with Zapier yet, like in terms of how it connects with the site, other than we have an app that we're working on that I'm going to set up through Zapier to actually post, as people post inspiration, it gets posted in the app as well. But the app is going to have full interaction with the different community elements. So people can go into the community, they can jump into their goals or their groups. They can do all that through the app as well. So that's what I'm working on right now, is building that app, and that I will use Zapier for. But at the moment, it doesn't have official Zapier integration. But that doesn't mean you can't rig something. I'm sure you could probably figure out how to do that. Yeah, so let's see.
Yeah, because it would be great with all of this profile information to link up to maybe a CRM, so we get to know each other.
Right.
And even your store could link up to other stores, which may kind of give a wider array of options.
That's definitely something that I plan to do in the future to make it really easy to get people to, find motivation that they're looking for. Right now,
Do you have a payment gateway?
I haven't actually needed to set it up yet.
Okay.
All the products that I have in the store besides these are all just links to Amazon or things like that.
Oh, okay.
So at the moment, so we can add as many as we want through that. They just don't tie into the growth rewards. People can't actually purchase them using points. They're just straight links. So you can add them to your wish list or whatever
Right.
you're wanting to, if you want to get motivated, you can add them to that list utilizing this, and then eventually using affiliate products and connecting to other people's systems will continue to grow what's available to people for growth rewards. So that's the ultimate goal of the journey inward, is just have a whole bunch of stuff in the product section that people can actually get discounts on by using their growth points, or actually purchase outright if they're digital downloads using growth points and such to help them stay motivated around what they're working on. Yeah. Well, thank you for asking about that. So let's see. So the whole site kind of works you towards that. So let me see if I can show you some of the other elements that I haven't gone over yet. We're getting pretty close to time. I should probably, I don't know if I want to unlock the thing yet. Maybe I should wait just a little bit longer. But yeah.
If you stop the recording, I can reboot my computer. So I kept all this because I've got a lot of windows open, and then I can put in a waiting room.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. So okay. So
So
let me just
when you make me a host, I can put in a waiting room.
okay. Let me just wrap this up really quick.
Yeah.
Basically, the Journey Inward is a place where anyone can create a group around anything. The whole point behind it is to support anyone around the world in creating and accomplishing their goals around their personal growth. So I'm really sort of wanting anyone to come and join the site, and I've created a group for World Unity Week that I'm going to leave a link on the site for. So if you're wanting, so for anyone that's listening to this recording later, if you're wanting to just come to the Journey Inward and join the site for free, join the World Unity Week, and I'm going to have a bunch of different tools in there that kind of help people work through the different goals that they might have around how they want to take what they've gotten out of World Unity Week and integrate it into their daily lives. So just go to thejourneyinward.com to find that. And thank you, everybody who's watching this later, and thank you both for watching this now. And thank you to everyone who watched this earlier. So I think I'll just go ahead and stop that there.